Welcome back, everybody. New information this morning about why Pope Benedict XVI decided to resign. At a news conference earlier, the Vatican said the Pope doesn't feel he has the strength to continue, and there's now already speculation over just who's going to replace him. These are just some of the cardinals who've been named as potential options. One of the men on that list is His Eminence Cardinal Donlad Wuerl. He's the Archbishop of Washington, and he's a voting member of the impending conclave, which will elect a new pope. It's nice to have you with us, sir.
Thank you.
So if you're on the short list of successors, what do you think is a reality that you could, in fact, be elected pope?
Well, I think at this point we're talking about fantasy more than reality. The future, I believe, as the conclave comes to be, the future is going to be directed to who will be a pope who will continue to focus on the spiritual mission of the Church. That's at the heart of who we are, and Pope Benedict has done that, I think, with great success, to try to keep the focus on the gospel, the mission of the gospel.
To some degree, the spiritual mission of the Church seems to also involve a lot of travel and bringing that spiritual message around the globe, which to me would say, okay, younger, somebody who maybe is in an area where the Church is already very revitalized, so more like Latin American, maybe African. Is that who you would be predicting? Is there a person that you would predict who would be a very good selection for Pope?
Well, I think our Holy Father said that one of the reasons he's resigning is he doesn't have the physical energy any longer to do that. And when you realize this world, this age, demands presence. It's a ministry of presence, and that means traveling, as you just pointed out. It also means being able to engage. We live in a world of instant communication. We live in a world in which...
Pope's on Twitter.
And so he has to be able to do all of that and have the physical energy to take that on every day.
Cardinal, when Thurgood Marshall retired as a Supreme Court justice, I remember the news conference, and he was asked the question. He said, "I'm old, I'm tired, I'm falling apart. A lifetime appointment. Shouldn't this Pope be praised for saying, look, I shouldn't have to die in the office. We should have a transition. It should be a matter of the next generation. And if I don't have the strength, get somebody who can do it."
Thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what I think is the background to this. This Holy Father showed a humility and an honesty and a courage. It takes a great deal to be able to say, I can't do this anymore, especially when the whole world's looking at you and saying, but you have to. And he's saying, no, I think the courageous thing here is to say, I'm worn out.
What do you think is the focus and the direction of the Church? The Pope has been absolutely, strong in the doctrine, and I'm curious to know if there's been a lot of pressure the other direction, certainly. Do you think that things change?
I think where we are, and where the Church always is to take the received teaching. This is what Jesus said to us, and that's what we keep repeating. But we have to find ways of saying it so we catch the attention of people today. I deal with an awful lot of young people, young adults, and they just don't know the message. So I think the next Pope is going to have to focus on, this is what we believe. We've always believed this. This is the message. Love one another. Be good to one another, build a world of peace and justice and kindness, but to say it in a way that we catch people's attention and their hearts.
What's the strength of the Catholic Church in the United States? I know Latinos obviously are very important to the growth of the Catholic Church here in America.
We're seeing two things. We're seeing not only a growth from those that are coming from outside the country, but there's a renewal going on inside. Right now, we have a huge number of young people who are finding that they never really heard what the Catholic Church teaches. They're the ones now who are a new source of energy and life in the Church. In the Archdiocese of Washington, we had to open a new seminary. We have so many young men saying, I would like to study for priesthood.
It'll be so interesting to see what the impact of the new Pope is on those very people, because of course I think people identify with the Pope as their coming of age, who was elected Pope at that time.
Well, this is one of the things that I think we're seeing with so many young adults today. The reason there's a growth in the Church coming from within as well as that from without is there are so many people who saw in Benedict, and certainly in Blessed John Paul II, a voice that really resonates. a challenge. You can live this gospel. It's possible to bring love and truth and peace into the world. And we call it the kingdom of God. The rest of society calls it a better world. They're the same thing. To bring into this world peace, justice, truth, kindness, compassion, care. And that's what the Pope keeps saying over and over and over again. I think the exciting thing is we have loads of young people who are saying, you know, that's right, I'd like to be a part of that.
Cardinal Wuerl, it's so nice to have you. If you are in fact elected Pope, we would like to have you back. Come and join us here on the set of the show.
No, actually, if you elected Pope, we're going to go talk to you there. Right. We don't want to talk to you here. We'll talk to you there.
Don't count on it.
Road trip.
Soledad wants a live interview.
Road trip.
Yeah.
Trending.